Body, this is Jordan JC from the ATS Report, and I am back on the Breeze set again. Feeling good up in here. I got my boys in the back. Got C-Dub Nation on the ones and twos. We got the pettiest man alive back there, PK.
C-Dub Nation.
And hey man, I'm just having a little fun with this topic. Today I want to talk about dream scenarios. As of right now, the Chicago Bears, well, before their win, they actually were set to get the first two draft picks in the draft, in this upcoming draft, because they hold Carolina Panthers draft pick. And so right now, Carolina has an 0-5 record after this week. They clearly are in the catbird seat for the number one pick. But the Chicago Bears are now 1-4. And it looks as if they're kind of gaining some steam. You can see the offense kind of humming. DJ Moore and Justin Fields are looking exactly like we wanted them to look from the very beginning. And so does that mean that they'll improve on their record? Does that mean that they're kind of going to stay in the back at the lower part of the league? Or are they going to improve to the point where they could be like a fringe playoff team, a fringe, wild card team? We don't know. Fellas, what you all think?
Man, honestly, I think that Carolina is going to continue to lose. They don't really have anything. Yeah. And we was just kind of talking, before. It's funny to think that Carolina picked the wrong quarterback.
I ain't even gonna talk about him because Bryce Young is still he's a professional for a reason.
Bryce,
but Lil
young Bryce, man, I don't know. You can't see him over the offensive line, man. So I don't know, man. Little Russell Wilson, man. I don't know.
Little young in the tooth. Yeah. That's what we're going to call him. But you know what? It's funny because even Frank Reich, I read, said that even though they're 0-5, this team is not rebuilding. They're not in the rebuilding phase. He is oblivious to his own team. And he thinks that maybe they can turn it around. I don't think so. But here's my dream case scenario, because this is really what I really want to get into. What if Justin Fields realizes all the potential that we've been saying he's had for the last year now, and now he's not just a mobile quarterback? We saw his potential in that game against the Broncos, over 300 yards passing. Now we see with the win his potential with that number one receiver that they've always wanted, that they coveted for him since he got drafted, in DJ Moore. 230 yards, insane statistics, right?
Nasty.
And so what if that continues to carry forward? We just talked about this schedule that's coming up, and they're going to be possibly, I'm gonna say they're underdog. They're only going to be underdogs probably against the Chargers. Like the next 5 or 6 weeks, they may actually win 5 games out of the 6 weeks. Chargers are the only team that I'm a little nervous about because they have a better team on paper, and they obviously are a better team. Justin Herbert and those boys are real nice over there. Keenan Allen, if he's not hurt, is a beast. And so that's the only thing that I see kind of getting in the way of them kind of turning this record around. But let's just say by the end of the season, the Bears are, say, top 15 in the draft, because now they have a 9-8 record or a 10-7 record. And they got the number one pick from Carolina. My dream case scenario is going to be this. They don't need the quarterback anymore because everybody's clamoring for Caleb Williams. It's a done deal. Caleb and Marvin Harrison Jr. So now you keep Justin, you forget about Caleb. So what if you have that number one pick? You can kind of trade back, still get Marvin Harrison Jr., get more draft capital, and then go address that offensive line with like a Olu Fashanu from Penn State or Joe Alt, I believe, from Notre Dame. Like, get some of those big dudes, big uglies in there to block for Justin a little bit more. Now you're talking about next year having Marvin Harrison Jr., DJ Moore, Darnell Mooney.
That's disgusting.
That it is ridiculous. The thoughts are endless, Or let's just say, okay, Justin Fields balls out, has over 4,000 yards, is the best passer in Bears history, but the Bears still want to go in a different direction. You trade Justin because his stock is so high for even more draft capital, which you're going to get back a high draft pick. You keep the number one pick. You keep your pick. So now you got 3 picks in the first round. You go address the quarterback position with Caleb. You get Marvin Harrison Jr., and you address your edge or line deficiencies. I got thoughts for days because I feel like we could go in so many different ways, and you also have more capital period to go out and get more free agents that are top tier next year because Ryan Post did it the right way. Yeah. So I think that this team can turn around pretty quickly, and this is just the start of something special.
So I'm gonna put you on the hot seat. Do something definitive. Let's say Justin has a good season, but we still end up, in a situation where we have the number one pick or two top five picks.
Yeah.
What does it have to? What does it take for Justin to stay a Chicago Bear?
If those losses are not on him and it's obvious that he's made a leap to star status, and we're not talking about just with his feet, but he clearly has, and you saw it in this game. So I noticed the little things, to me, it is the little things that he's expanded on. Throwing the ball away when he's pressured instead of trying to hold it until the last second. Now you're second and 15 or second and 18. You put your team in a hole. Little IQ things that he's improved on. Those little incremental progress. That incremental progress is the things that I need to see continuing moving forward in this season. That's what would make me keep him if I'm a GM is, okay, we may not have gotten to the playoffs, but I can clearly see an improvement from him as a passer, as a pocket passer, as an IQ guy. He scans the field. We already know he has a pretty deep ball, but now he's taking shots where he can give it to all. He can spread the ball around, and it's clear that he's made a leap in his progressions and his mobility, his IQ, in passing it to all of his receivers on the team. And so I would keep him if he shows me that. Quite honestly, I would keep him, which is why I think that will happen, because it's you see it slowly happening. They've gotten away from whatever Luke Getsy was trying to call in the first 2 or 3 games. You can see that they're now committing to Justin Fields being an even deadlier threat. You can see that they're committing to his style of play and letting him play a little bit more freely, like he mentioned he wanted to do a couple weeks ago. And so,
yeah.
Hey, sky's the limit for me. I'm gonna be honest with you. I think Justin Fields will stay here. If this is any indication this past week, I think he will remain a Chicago Bear.
Yeah, and I think in all likelihood, what's going to happen is he's going to show everybody that he is him. And that's what I've been saying all along. The eye test just shows you. Obviously, there's been a couple times in the first few weeks where he missed wide open receivers, right? And maybe he wasn't seeing the field the way how everybody is saying that he wasn't seeing the field. But the other part of it is that what if, in the honest truth, he really was just in his head with what the schemes was, what he had to do, how many steps he had to drop back. And now you see those natural progressions that he's doing and that he's starting to get more comfortable within the scheme that they have him in. I think sky is the limit, dude.
Yeah.
And you got people on ESPN like Dan Orlovsky is telling, like, before the season started, this guy could be MVP, and this eye test is telling you that this guy can be MVP. He has that potential. I honestly think that he will be that type of player that is fringe potential conversation of an MVP by the time the season is over with. But also what's going to end up happening is when the Bears make the playoffs, as I'm going to call it right now, I think they're going to make the playoffs.
Okay. All right, I like that.
I ain't being a homer. I think they're going to make the playoffs.
All right.
And when they make the playoffs, it's going to show everybody who Justin Fields really is, because that man is a dog. That man is a competitor, bro. And he's going to show.
Hey, man, I'm with you on that because, like you just said, the pundits, everybody was on the Bears bandwagon because of how improved this team was on the offensive and defensive spectrum. I know that Justin Fields can get to an MVP conversation. Maybe not be the MVP of the league. That's a ways off. Let's just be real with some of the quarterbacks that are still in this league. You still got Pat Mahomes. Let's come on. But can he be in that conversation year in and year out? Yes, on a consistent basis. Now, one of the things PK even mentioned is that I think he needs to improve on, rather, is making the passes that should be easy for him to make. There were a few passes that I saw last game that I think he should have completed to Darnell Mooney. And you know that both of those guys,
one of them.
There were a couple that I saw. It was out of his reach. He was screaming across the field on a slant route. And I think Justin Fields led him too far where it was out of his catch radius.
He did.
And so those are the little things that I want to see him be more consistent on. Like I said, we know that he has the deep ball.
Yeah.
We know that he has the feet. We know that he can do the little screen passes from time to time. We know he can do those things. I need to see the obvious, maybe middle of the field passes be a little bit more accurate with that. If I continue to see those little incremental progresses in Justin Fields, there's no reason why we need to get rid of him. Because why would we? We're going to just start back over with Caleb Williams and go through the same process again? There has to be a point where you have to commit to your players.
Yeah.
So that's just how I feel about it. Again, one can dream, as MLK said. I have a dream, and I'm gonna be real with you. You like that one, don't you, PK? Because my dream is we can get the best of both worlds and have a top pick and keep Justin and get Marvin Harrison Jr. up in this building. You talk about two of the best.
Brother. I'm a dream with you because that's my dream.
Dream with me, baby.
My dream is that we do get that number 1 pick from Carolina, and we do make the playoffs, and Justin Fields show that he is him.
He is him. He is here, and he will stay. Hey, I love it, man. This is just a fun topic I just wanted to talk about real quick. I appreciate you all hopping on with me on my channel. Everybody, what do you all think? Do you all think that Justin Fields will kind of produce to the point where he's consistent? This is just not a hit and miss thing where, okay, in Washington, there was just a fluke? Or do you think this will continue to the point where he'll realize his potential, and we won't be talking about Caleb Williams. We'll be talking about Marvin Harrison Jr. and maybe other draft picks. Do you think that they'll have the best of both worlds, kind of like what I was saying? Leave your comments in the section below, and shout out to my boy C-Dub and P.Kidd for being on the set with me. We'll see y'all next time. ATS Report, baby. I'm out.